Aloha, everyone.
Aloha!
Happy Thursday. Thank you all so much for tuning in. My name is Danny. This is Steph. We're here from WDW Magazine to fill you guys in on our awesome Hawaii trip and our time at Disney's Aulani.
This was actually our first trip to Aulani. We get asked a lot about all the different Disney destinations around the world because we do focus a lot on WDW, Disneyland, and Disney Cruise. But we've actually been to all the global destinations except for Hong Kong and Aulani until recently, and hopefully soon Hong Kong. So what we're going to do today, here's our little trip itinerary that we're going to give you. We are going to tell you a little bit about very short amount about our trip to Hawaii to set some context to our time at Aulani. We're going to show you our merch haul, and then we're going to take you on a little bit of a tour of Aulani, answer questions. There are a bunch of pre-submitted questions that I'm going to answer first, but please, if you have questions of any kind or tips of your own, if you've been to Aulani that you want to share with other people, please put them in the comments and we will definitely get to them. So yeah, we're going to take you through everything. You guys asked a lot of questions about booking process, about the room types, about the pools, about the activities, and we are going to cover all of that. So without further ado, let's talk a little bit about our Hawaii trip, because this is a big question. People say, should I only go to Aulani? How long should I stay at Aulani? Should I leave the property when I'm at Aulani?
First, a little bit of basic geography. In case you're unfamiliar already, Hawaii is more than one island. Disney's Aulani is on the island of Oahu. That's also where Honolulu and Waikiki Beach is. Yeah. For the trip that Steph and I just went on, we were gone for a little over 3 weeks. We went to the Big Island, Kauai, and Oahu. We actually ended our trip at Aulani. Yeah. So we had spent the majority of the time island hopping, traveling around, seeing. It's a beautiful state. Wonderful things to do.
And we spent a week on Oahu with those last 4 nights and kind of 4.5 days at Aulani. And that was really good for us because, you know, we were trying to create content also. Not like we were very much enjoying the resort, but we had a few work things to do as well. So for us, we specifically planned to not leave Aulani during that time. And the Ko Olina area, that's the area of Oahu where Aulani is. But for lots of people, they may want to stay for longer than that, for a week, maybe more, and explore the rest of the island. It's very worth exploring. A budget-friendly tip, Aulani is expensive. It's a Disney hotel. We all know what Disney pricing is like compared to, you know, other mainstream hotel chains or mom and pop hotels. If you want to really maximize your time on the island so you're not driving to and from, because Aulani is like out towards the west of the island in a beautiful area. But so you're not driving as much, also so you can save a little bit of money on hotels. It's not unheard of to stay somewhere else for a portion of your trip while you're exploring those other areas, whether that's the North Shore, the East Side, in Honolulu. Waikiki is very popular, and then head to Aulani before or after.
That would be my advice and my preference. Hawaii has so much amazing stuff to offer, whether you enjoy, you know, outdoor activities, you want to try surfing, hiking, kayaking, all that kind of stuff. If you want to go on a culinary adventure, like it's an incredible place with so much to offer. Yeah. We loved our time at Aulani, but if you're gonna fly all that way to Hawaii, there's so much to see and do.
However, if budget is no object and you're not really planning on driving around too much, stay at Aulani, even if you're going to venture out for a day trip or two. Mm-hmm. If you do want to book a trip to Aulani, I cannot recommend enough our partners at Destinations to Travel. We book all of our Disney trips through them, and they actually saved us over $700 on this trip. We booked this trip about a year ago, and then in January of this year, a special Aulani deal came out. I think it was 25% off rooms or something, and it was applicable for our dates. So our awesome agent, Casey, she called me. She said, hey, I'm going to have this applied to your room. We saved about $600 that way. And then also, because we did it within a certain frame of time, we got $150 resort credit. So that was amazing. Great.
We always recommend our friends at Destinations to Travel. It's important to know that their services are free to you.
Yeah.
There's no additional fees or cost or anything like that. And you get the peace of mind of having a travel agent who has your back and can, help out with things like applying a promo that you didn't even know about.
Yep. So without further ado, do you want to start showing off all the things that we bought for a mini merch haul?
Yes. So one thing that I want to mention is that Aulani in the gift shop have these amazing, very sturdy.
They're very large. Here, I'm going to hold up one of our magazines next to it just so you can see how much bigger it is. It's not the normal Disney shopping bag size.
These are very large, very sturdy. They have a zipper on the top. If you find that you've done too much shopping at Aulani or on your trip in general, and maybe you need an extra carry-on bag,
that's a good one.
It's a good one.
And it's not, it wasn't that expensive.
No.
Compared to buying a suitcase or something.
But we did try to focus in. I mean, there's tons of amazing stuff at Aulani. There's 3 different gift shops on property that you can shop at. A lot of incredible Aulani exclusive items, which is what Steph and I were focused on. In no particular order, some things that I want to show off. We got this lovely Stitch luggage tag. He's got a delicious shave ice.
There's a lot of Stitch stuff because Lilo and Stitch takes place in Hawaii. It actually takes place on the island. Well, it's inspired by a town on the island of Kauai called Hanapepe, and we went there.
Which we went to. Yeah. Is lovely. What else do we have here? We've got some Aulani specific. So you're probably familiar with Mickey Mouse treats. These are Aulani specific, and these are pineapple flavor. There's a lot of Hawaii-inspired
tropical candies, coconut things, Hawaiian shortbreads, all that are with a Disney theme.
Duffy and his pals are very popular, so we had to get Olumel. This is Olumel.
And we couldn't decide which outfit to get him in, so we got both.
For anyone who's keeping score at home, check out the backs of your Olumels because his turtle has his shell has a little hidden Mickey.
It's very cute, and all of these ones where he's in a aloha wear cabana set, the placement of the fish and the waves are different on all of them. This actually happens a lot with the stuffed animals, especially the Duffy stuffed animals if they have patterns. So always look through to get your very favorite combination.
Yes. I got this very stylish baseball cap that says Aulani. This is one of the Nike Dry Fit caps.
You've probably seen them at Disneyland or Disney World.
Yes, I have the Disney World version, and now I have the Aulani version. Great hat. I love it.
These I was really excited about. They're Aulani exclusive Wishables. I've actually never bought Wishables until this trip, and I watched our reporter Tina on her private Instagram channel called A Magical Life for Me. She talks about how to squish the Wishables packets so you get the exact ones that you want.
It was very important for Steph and I. This is the shave ice, and this is the masubi. These are our favorites, and we really wanted these two. Yeah. You can kind of feel the ears in the package.
Yeah. So success. First Wishables outing, a success. Do you guys like Wishables? Are you still collecting them? Are we on to Munchlings now? Tell me what's happening.
We love to get ornaments for our tree wherever we travel. This ornament, and we love it because it says Aulani and because it features the menehune. Menehune is a word you might not be familiar with. Sit tight. We're going to get to it, tell you all about the menehune and why they're important at Disney's Aulani.
Let's talk about the other 2 ornaments that we got really quickly. These are not actually from Aulani, but a lot of you ask me about this everywhere we go to Disney. There is a Starbucks across the street from Aulani. There is not an Aulani or a Starbucks at Aulani. There is a coffee bar, but it's just an Aulani run one. And there are not Aulani specific Starbucks cups or Starbucks ornaments, but there are Hawaii specific ones, and these are them.
Yes. There is a whole Hawaii collection. If you're a fan of Starbucks like we are, it's pretty awesome.
I think I've done like 3 different lives where you guys have asked me about the Starbucks ornaments on our Christmas tree in the past, so I thought you might want to see those.
We've got a couple sort of printed souvenirs here. This was a free gift in our hotel room. This is an 8x10 art print.
If you stayed at the Grand Californian in Disneyland, they do a similar thing with an art print that they give you in your room.
What's super cool about this one, the artist, his name is Brett Ewan, and if that name sounds familiar to you, it's because he's the official voice of Mickey Mouse. While we were there, we also took the time to tour some of the Disney Vacation Club rooms and daydream about what being DVC members might look like. This is a little complimentary print that they gave us as a gift for coming to have a chat and talk to them. This is a great souvenir. We did character breakfast at Makahiki. That's one of the sit-down.
There's only one character meal, and it's breakfast.
So during the meal, the PhotoPass photographers come around and you have the option of you can purchase a single print they show you on an iPad all of the PhotoPass photos. You have the option of purchasing one print, the digital download, or the combo package, which we bought, which you get to
pick. And the digital download comes with all the pictures that they took of you. So in our case, 17.
Yes. So you select one picture that you really love, and they print that out for you. This is a great Steph and I and Mickey Mouse. They give you that print, and then they give you a Disney PhotoPass card so that you can log into your My Disney Experience app.
It's actually the Disneyland
Oh, I'm sorry.
app.
It's the Disneyland app, and then you can download your digital downloads of all the photos
and use them like you normally would use any other PhotoPass. This is actually not a bad deal. It was $45 for all the digital plus the printout. So we liked the photos. It was well worth it.
Yeah. We also got matching rash guards, swim cover-ups. So you can see they've got this lovely Minnie Mouse on the front, and then, of course, beautiful rainbow Aulani, Hawaii.
The sun in California and Florida is no joke. The sun in Hawaii is no joke, and you're more likely to not be in the shade as much because you're not going in and out of attractions, in and out of shops and things as much as you would be in the parks. And you might be at the beach. You're going to spend a lot more time at the pool. So those ones actually are UPF 50, and so you don't have to wear as much. Still wear sunscreen, but you don't have to put as much sunscreen on. It helps shield you for a bit longer. It kept us actually very cool. It kept our temperature down. Yeah. We actually got Disney Cruise Line ones.
We have Disney Cruise Line ones that match. We have Aulani ones that match. A note about sunscreen.
Yes.
When you're visiting Hawaii, it's very important to use only reef-safe sunscreen.
On the sunscreen bottles, there is a little special symbol you need to look for. You can Google this and find it out for yourself. But if you want to make sure that you're getting reef-safe sunscreen, just don't bring it from home. Buy it in Hawaii. That's all they sell in Hawaii.
Yes. Very important note. Last but certainly not least, we also brought home a selection of Disney pins. There are a lot of pins of Duffy and Friends, and there are a lot of these Aulani specific pins that you can only buy when you're visiting. So we've got that one with Mickey and the gang. We've got this nice close-up of Mickey with the flower lei. Love that one. And then we got this adorable rainbow aloha from the Pride collection.
Yeah. There was actually a lot of Aulani specific Pride collection merchandise, which we thought was really, really cool. And it's June, so happy Pride, y'all. But there was one other thing that I wanted to show you that's not necessarily a souvenir from Aulani. It's something that we actually grabbed on our way to Aulani when we were flying between Kauai and Oahu on Hawaiian Airlines, which is a fantastic airline, one of my favorites that I've ever flown. They're so nice. But they actually happened to, in their in-flight magazine, they had a feature on Joe Rohde. And the reason I wanted to tell you about this is because I'm sure you all know who Joe Rohde is. Imagineer legend, Animal Kingdom, all that stuff. But he actually was one of the lead Imagineers at Aulani. So there are a lot of similarities to Animal Kingdom and some of his other designs. He grew up in Hawaii, on Oahu, in a suburb or area of Honolulu called Makiki. And there is the beach rental area is called
for those of you who have been to Aulani before, if you're ever going to check out the floaties or the beach stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you go to Mahiki Joe's, and if you ever wondered who that Joe was, it's Joe Road.
But when there's a lot of similarities, especially in the lobby to like Animal Kingdom Lodge, in the rock work around the pool, there's like hidden animals carved into the rocks.
It reminded me a lot of the Tree of Life at Animal Kingdom. There's a water slide. I don't want to jump ahead too far, but there's a wonderful water slide in the pools, and the way it's sculpted to look sort of like a mountain rising up. And it looks like rock work at first glance, but when you look a little bit closer, you'll see that there's various animals. There's a sea turtle and a seahorse and fishes and all kinds of stuff. It's very reminiscent of Animal Kingdom.
So we had a lot of pre-submitted questions, and I kind of boiled them down to like they were very similar. So we're just going to go over them right now so we don't forget or let you know that that information is coming up in everything else we're going to show you, because we got lots of photos coming up. But Barbara asks, as a solo senior, is there enough to do, or is this primarily focused for families? Is there anything besides scenery and restaurants? And she says she's not a beach person. We also got a lot of comments about, like, is it okay for adults? Is it okay for honeymoons? That sort of thing. We will fully answer this, but the short answer is yes. We are a couple without kids. We went, we had a great time. There is a lot of stuff that's either adults only or that draws an older crowd. There's a lot of space for you to go off and do things on your own, much like a resort day at your hotel at Disney World, or any time on a Disney cruise. There are a lot of areas that draw the kids more, like the water slides and the splash zones and things. I did not feel like it was like overrun with children, but you're going to a Disney hotel, so
yes,
there's going to be kids.
There's going to be kids.
And that's kind of part of the fun, right?
It is. And everybody gets to be a kid themselves. Yeah. And as for, is there stuff other than restaurants and scenery, not a beach person? Definitely. There are excursions that you can do through Aulani if you want to see other things on the island, or you want to take surf lessons or something like that. There's golfing right across the street. So if you're into golf, that's big. There's a beautiful spa. And there's just like lots of areas to like lounge. There's some shows that happen. There's a luau. There's lots to do, even if you're not traveling with children. Now, if you're not a beach person, does that also mean you're not a pool person? Because Aulani, I mean, one, there's beautiful beachfront access and tons of stuff to do in the ocean, but there's also an amazing pool complex. Yeah. So when people say they're not a beach person, I don't know if that's just like they don't like the sand
swimming
or
in the
salt
ocean.
water.
And if it's just that you don't like the ocean and the sand, there's a beautiful walking path, Ko Olina, where Aulani is. We're going to show you a map, but there's 4 lagoons along Ko Olina, and Aulani is at the lagoon at one far end, but there's a beautiful walking path around all the lagoons. That will be really, I don't think kids would be into that, but that is something that adults will really enjoy, especially like sunrise or sunset when it's really scenic and a little bit cooler. So there you go. JC asked about activities, and Dawn also asked about activities and how it feels different than a normal resort. How is it Disney? Well, we're going to dive all the way into activities a little bit later, but it feels different than like a normal resort than if you stayed at, say, a Marriott or something like that, because it has 2 things. All those Disney details, whether it's little sculptures here and there, whether it's like hidden Mickeys or seeing the characters, all those little things. And 2 is the service and the fact that they're thinking about so many things. The staff there, even the performers who are not necessarily in a show, but there are people like Auntie and Uncle who are walking around. Think of these as like the citizens of Main Street kind of characters. They're walking around, they're engaging with guests. That was some of our favorite stuff at Aulani. You're not going to get that at another type of, there are tons of beautiful hotels in Hawaii. You should stay there too. But the Disney experience is going to be very different.
One thing that makes the Aulani resort experience different from, say, a resort hotel at Walt Disney World or at Disneyland is there's definitely a more relaxed pace. Often when you're in Florida or California, people are rushing back and forth to and from the parks. They're on their way to make an ADR. They've got lightning lanes that they're trying to get to. There's a sense of movement. At Aulani, there's a lot of just enjoy,
take a breath,
lounge. So
if you're used to like a commando park style, kind of like we are, it might take you a minute to be like, oh, I don't have to do anything. I could sit right now and enjoy the sunset. What's that
Steph
like? It's great.
We often lament that when we're in Walt Disney World or Disneyland, the resorts are beautiful and we want to use the amenities and enjoy the facilities, but we want to be in the parks.
That is why we usually stay at value resorts, honestly, because we don't really need anything more.
As much
the value
as
the resorts are really fun and nice.
And
too.
As much as we love the resorts, we love more being in the parks. So that's what's nice about Aulani, since there is not a park, you really dig in and enjoy everything the resort has to offer.
For me, I have a hard time swallowing the price of deluxe resorts because we're not necessarily going to use all those amenities. I didn't have a problem with Aulani because I knew we were going to use all of the amenities we wanted to. Lessa, Shanda, Dana, and Kim all said they want to know about everything. So buckle up. We'll get to that in a minute. And Stephanie wanted to know about rooms, pools, and the booking process. We're going to get to rooms and pools, but the booking process is pretty easy and simple. For the best, easiest way, book with our partners at Destinations to Travel. Just send them a note. You can fill out a form on our website. If you go to www.magazine.com, type in Destinations to Travel, it'll take you right to a form. Fill it out. One of their awesome agents are going to get back to you. They're going to ask when you want to go, what your budget is, and they're going to help you plan the perfect trip, and it does not cost you a penny more. And like I said earlier, it might save you a bundle like it did for us. Over $700 is nothing to snuff at for 4 days. And two, if you want to book on your own, you just go to the Aulani website, and it's just like booking a Disneyland or Disney World thing. You say when you want to go, how many people are in your room, pick your room type, give them your credit card, you're done. Easy peasy. You got to know what you're booking. You got to know what room types, and we'll get to that in a minute. And that's where travel agent comes in really handy. And Gabby wanted to know, is it a place to stay the whole vacation, or do you have a chance to explore? We hinted at this earlier, but that's really up to you. You definitely have a chance to explore. You're not locked in. You can leave whenever you want.
Yeah. Aulani is not very remote. It's, easily accessible to other parts of the island and other major attractions. And
off a highway. So you can get places pretty quickly.
I think you could have a rich, full vacation entirely on Aulani property. But like I said before, I think Hawaii is just such a wonderful place with so much to offer.
There's so much that happens at Aulani during the daytime too, that even if you're staying there and exploring the island, I would have at least 1 or 2 full resort days, because you're going to miss a lot of activities that are maybe only offered during certain hours in the middle of the day. And you don't want to be off exploring something else and then miss ukulele or hula or yoga or the Moana show or a whole bunch of different things like that.
I will say that if you are intending to go off the property and do other things that Hawaii has to offer, a rental car is going to be very essential. You can actually get rental cars directly at Aulani, which is a nice convenient service.
So let's say you're staying for a week, so you decide to just take an Uber or get a car service to and from the airport. And one day in the middle of your week, you're like, I want to drive around the whole island or go surfing on the North Shore, something like that. Just rent a car directly from Aulani for the day. So easy. So now that we've answered all those, let's just see if there's any other questions that we need to get to. Steven says, what is your favorite area at Aulani?
It's tough to pick. There is one pool in particular that has an infinity edge.
The Kamaka Grotto.
The Kamaka Grotto pool. And it's situated so that you have an ocean view. And when you get right up to that edge, it looks like a continuous right out to the horizon of the ocean. I spent more than a little bit of time just floating there, looking out at the water and feeling very happy and peaceful.
Yeah. I would say for me, it's the entire kind of pool complex. There's so many pools. There's a lot going on. There's snack stands, there's snorkeling, there's shops, and it's just beautifully landscaped. They call them the poolside gardens. So it's not like when you go to a pool where it's maybe a fence and then a lot of cement and then the pool. It feels very like organic and natural and lush, and there's a lot to explore. You can kind of get lost. And
there's not a lot of straight lines at Aulani. If you're going from point A to point B, the path is going to meander and take you through gardens and around pools, and it feels very natural, like, you know, carved out of the landscape.
What time of year is best to go? That really depends on what you're looking for. Oahu is very similar temperature the whole year. They don't have extreme seasons, but I believe December and January are a little bit rainier. So just take that into account. What merch is best? Well, I would say all of the Aulani specific merch that you can't get anywhere else. And also, if you're a Duffy fan, there's a bunch of Duffy stuff there that you're not going to get anywhere else in the States.
Yeah.
Kat says we look very relaxed and rested. Thank you, Kat. We are.
How was the coffee at Aulani Bar compared to Starbucks?
Well, I'm a West Coast girl myself, from Vancouver, and that's very close to Seattle, headquarters of Starbucks. So for me, I'm a Starbucks ride or die. But
there is coffee available at Aulani. At the quick service, you can get regular drip brew coffee.
And you can do the refillable mugs for that.
Yes.
There are also fancy coffees like the cappuccinos and lattes. They even have one called the Aulani Special that is mac nut chocolate.
Something like that. Yeah. So, you know, and it's Disney. They're pretty good. If you want your customizations, they've got different milk options. They can do it more sweet or less sweet.
Only available in the mornings as far as I could tell, though. But there is a Starbucks directly across the street.
There is a Starbucks.
In 5 minutes, you could be sipping on your pink drink or whatever it is you want.
Yes, there is a Starbucks walking distance. I'd say the coffee is good. But it was not the highlight of our trip at Aulani.
And there are not as many. It's actually not. It's Joffrey's Coffee in the room, but it's Honolulu Coffee Co. Company or Honolulu Coffee Co. Company everywhere else in the resort, which is actually very delicious. But there's not as many options at the coffee bar as, like, say, if you were going to Contemporary Grounds at the Contemporary or any of the Joffrey's kiosks around the parks. So better than nothing. What else? Which Aulani pins are our favorites? Out of the three that we brought home, I really like this one. I think it has like an old school Aulani or old school Hawaii vibe.
I like the aloha one.
Yeah.
It's fun and colorful, and I love living that aloha spirit.
Kat asks, how many days at Aulani would you say is ideal? Well, so we stayed for 4 nights, and so we stayed Monday through Thursday night. We flew home on Friday. We arrived around 10 a.m. on Monday. We didn't get our room till about 3, but you just check your bags, and we just enjoyed the pool until our room was ready.
Even on your check-in and check-out days, a lot of the resort amenities are still available to use.
Just like at Disney World or Disneyland. So you can really kind of get a bonus day if you arrive early and leave late. We left around 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday to catch our flight. I would have liked one more day personally.
So like 5
nights,
6 days.
That's because Danny and I did spend a good amount of time capturing content for the magazine. So it's very different if you're just going and doing what you like. We walked around the resort for hours in the morning and hours at night getting photos, taking videos. You know, we did a full DVC tour that we wouldn't maybe do necessarily if we were there on our own. So for me, I would have said 5 nights. One thing to consider, and it's really hard because they don't release this information until a week or 2 before you go, maybe a month before you go, is that not all the activities are offered every single day. So like I was really looking forward to yoga on the beach, and it was only offered one of the 5 mornings that we were there. So I only got to do it that one time. Hula lessons were only offered at one point during the week, and it was when we were not there. So if you want to be able to do everything, I'd say stay a week. That way you can make sure that you're going to get any activity that they're offering. And that maybe that means that you rent a rental car for a day or two and go explore other parts of the island. But I would say at minimum 2 nights, 3 days. Like get there early, sleep, leave late.
Yeah. That sounds right.
Yeah.
I thought our 4-night stay was a lovely length of time, especially when you add in, like, we arrived early on check-in day and we stayed half the day or so on check-out day.
Yeah.
Maybe a 5th night.
Yeah. Jesse says, I was there in 2021 eating with the characters was sit down, not a buffet. It is still sit down. Yes. So we're going to talk about that a bit more, but it's a 3-course meal where they bring everything out to you. Somebody asked, did we go to Ko Olina Ranch next door where they filmed 50 First Dates? We did not go to Ko Olina Ranch. We did drive past, we did a whole circle tour of the island on one of the days when we weren't staying at Aulani. So we did pass a lot of those film scenes like Jurassic Park, 50 First Dates, all of that. We did see Chinaman's Hat and the Mokes and all of those things. And we did a bunch of other fun stuff on the island. If you want to know more stuff to do on Oahu, let me know in the comments, because maybe I'll write a blog post about other things that you could do while you're visiting Aulani, but I'm not going to do that unless you guys tell me you want it. Yeah, great. I think we're all caught up on comments. So let's start sharing the good stuff. Okay. Now we're just going to get our bearings. I have this map zoomed in a bunch of ways just so we can kind of point at things and tell you, but we're primarily going to show you photos. This is basically the entire property of Aulani. This is the beach. The beach is shared. There's, I believe, a Marriott Vacation Club over here that is on the beach as well. And then there is a Four Seasons actually right next door. But Aulani is in the center and has the lion's share of the beach.
Something important to know about beaches, and this goes for all of Hawaii. By law in Hawaii, beaches are public access. What that means is even though Aulani is on the beachfront and there are amenities that are only available to Aulani guests, if you park your car outside the resort, there is a walkway and you can come and enjoy the beach. You're not allowed to use the lounge chairs, the cabanas, all that stuff is reserved for Aulani guests. And this isn't specific to Aulani. This is everywhere in the state of Hawaii.
There's no private beach. These are the two, there's 2 towers joined in the center by the lobby. These are the poolside gardens. Over here is the parking structure, and over here is the conference center. So if you're planning a conference for your company, I strongly recommend Aulani, because you will be the head of the office.
You'll be the hero of your workplace if you're able to schedule the conference at Aulani.
So starting where you enter at the lobby and going towards the beach, we're just going to take you on a quick photo tour to kind of show you what you are going to see. So first up, the lobby. It is stunning. Animal Kingdom Lodge much?
Animal Kingdom Lodge vibes for sure, but also a little bit of Grand Californian, a little bit of the Polynesian resort.
There are 2 tours that you can take that are totally free. They're led by an Aulani host. Ours were led by Uncle, and Uncle is amazing. He's now my favorite Disney cast member of all time. But there's a culture through nature tour where you learn a lot about the foliage and the animals and how the land impacted the design of Aulani. And there's a culture through art tour where it talks about the man-made structures and everything and materials that they built the resort out of. So for instance, here's a little hidden thing. All this stained glass is actually artwork that represents a rainfall. So the rain is coming off the lobby, down into the poolside gardens and out to the ocean. How cool is that? Let's talk about rooms for a minute, because off the lobby are the rooms. There's 2 towers, the Eva Tower and the Waianae Tower.
Waianae, yes.
One is the ocean tower. One is the land or mountain tower. It doesn't mean that they face the ocean or the land. It's just a dichotomy of the nature that's represented at the resort.
Because of the way the natural geography of the island, it's not uncommon when you're traveling in Hawaii for people to give you directions by referring to things as either being towards the water or towards the mountain, because basically that's how all of the islands are situated.
Now, so it is a DVC resort, but there are normal hotel rooms and then there are DVC rooms. Even if you are not a DVC member, you can book a DVC villa, a 1-bedroom, a studio with a kitchenette, etc. We chose the hotel room because we didn't care about having the kitchenette. We didn't need the extra space of a 1 or 2 bedroom. And honestly, there's a deep soaker tub in the hotel room, but only a tiny regular tub in the DVC. So if you don't need a microwave and a coffee maker, there was still a Keurig. If you don't need a microwave, I would get a hotel room unless you're using DVC points. So when you when you arrive to any of the rooms, you'll be greeted with a little welcome card and a hair flower.
2 hair flowers, no waiting.
Yeah. It's extra tropical in here now. So you get a little hair flower, which is really, really cute. It's such a nice way to welcome you. This is a shot of our hotel room. This is from like the window area back. So very if you stayed at any Disney hotel, this should not surprise you, this setup.
What was our room category called?
So this is really cool. We booked, and this is pixie dust. They didn't know who we were. They didn't know we were there. I think it's just the room availability.
Anyone based on availability.
We booked a partial ocean view, but when we got into our room, we realized we've been upgraded to a full ocean view. So when you see our view photos, take that into consideration. Also, something that you should note is that whether it's partial ocean view, full ocean view, poolside gardens view, island gardens view, etc., as far as the ocean views go, all they guarantee is that at least part of the ocean will be viewable from your room or your balcony, including with full ocean view. So you could pay. There's no way that you can pay to guarantee a very specific view. So if that's really important to you, that you get what you paid for, I would book a lower category room and know that you're not going to have like a full on. We stayed in Kona on the big island of Hawaii, and we had a room that like literally butted up against the ocean. Like the waves were 20 feet away from us. You cannot pay for that at Aulani. It's just the luck of the draw.
So this is our room. It had 2 queen beds. Should all look very familiar if you've stayed at other Disney resort properties. Obviously, the decor has these lovely Polynesian touches, these Hawaiian design influences.
Bathroom H2O products.
H2O products, yes, they were lovely.
I don't know if they're technically H2. It's exactly the same, but the H2O is off the bottles. It just says Disney now. But that's that nice big soaker tub, and let me tell you, I enjoyed it.
Our room had a balcony.
Now, some of the balconies are rectangular like this, but a lot are like a little triangle.
A little wedge shape. With 2 little chairs and a little table. We had dinner out there a couple of times. It was lovely. This is our view. We couldn't have asked for a better view. When I think of Aulani in my mind's eye, this is the shape of the towers, being able to see the ocean, being able to see
the lazy river,
river, the little mountain that houses the water slide.
Yeah, it was just, I cried when we got into the room, honestly.
Everything in Hawaii is gorgeous. The whole time when we were on our trip, I kept turning around and saying, this view is so beautiful. This view is so beautiful. And Aulani is designed in such a beautiful, harmonious way with the landscape to accentuate the natural features, to show off the beauty of the architecture, to show off the beauty of the landscape.
Yeah. Now, even if you don't have a view like this, you can go see a view like this. There are viewing platforms, viewing mini lobbies, viewing areas.
These are just off the elevator banks.
So you would be able to go up to this window and look out. There's not a balcony or anything, but you can get a pretty nice view from there. We also did a DVC tour so that we could see. Now they showed us a 2-bedroom lock-off DVC. So what I'm going to show you, I'm going to talk about the studio and the 1-bedroom, but for a lock-off, all that for a 2-bedroom lock-off, that just means they actually open the door between the studio and the 1-bedroom, just like at Disney World. So use your imagination and pretend it's the 1-bedroom, the studio, or the 2-bedroom. We do have videos coming up of all of these that we're going to put on our YouTube channel, but they're not ready quite yet. So this is what you would get in the DVC studio. So instead of having the 2 queens, you get 1 queen, and then you get this pull-out couch. And then this is an example of kind of that smaller triangle-shaped balcony. I'm not sure if it's only the hotel rooms that have the rectangular balcony, or like that's just, it depends on where your room actually is in the building. But this is kind of the DVC studio room that would be the comparable one to the one that we stayed in, regardless of view. The rooms inside don't change depending on what view you get. Then for the 1-bedroom, you get your bed here. This is kind of similar to like Animal Kingdom Lodge or somewhere like that, or Saratoga Springs or Boardwalk. And then right through here, you have your bathroom. And then in the other room would be like the couch and everything that pulls out for extra beds. I want to talk about hidden Mickeys for a minute. This is the carpet in the hotel, in like the hotel rooms portion. You won't see a lot of standard hidden Mickeys.
Yes, we learned some very interesting insight about this. So like Steph said, we did these tours on property to learn about the art and architecture and the Hawaiian influences. So you'll notice the Mickeys here, they're in the corner of the thing, and they're square. We're used to seeing hidden Mickeys as 3 circles. Our guide, Uncle, was telling us, you know, if you think about the Hawaiian way of life, when you're using these natural resources, when you don't have the most sophisticated tools and machinery.
Until a few hundred years ago, there was no metal in Hawaii.
Yes. So how do you make something perfectly round? That's a very difficult shape to achieve. So the squares are a little bit easier to create. And that's how, so if you're like me and you're keen on finding hidden Mickeys, you'll find this square orientation at Aulani.
And if you do find a more standard hidden Mickey, it's usually made out of something that is naturally round, like shells or bubbles. In this artwork right there. You won't find a ton of hidden Mickeys though. They designed Aulani with a capital H Hawaii, little d Disney. So Hawaii comes first, Disney comes second.
It is still unmistakably a Disney resort. The cast members, the way it all functions, you know, there's no escaping. You are at a Disney property. But yes, it's the best analogy we've heard to describe it is capital H Hawaii, little d Disney.
Think about something like Art of Animation, where like as soon as you open your eyes, you're smacked with Disney and Pixar. And then you go to Animal Kingdom Lodge, and the Disney part is a little more subtle. You're looking at elephants and all sorts of cool things. Not that Pixar isn't cool, because I love Nemo and all those guys. But take that even further here.
Yes.
What's really, really cool. So we'd already been in Hawaii for 3 weeks at this point, and we learned a lot of mythology. We learned a lot of history. We learned a lot of things about the land and the nature. And we could see so much of that echoed and influenced here. It's just beautifully done. So carrying on out of the rooms, out of the lobby, you start to go through the poolside gardens. There's a koi pond here. And I wanted to show you this because a lot of people don't notice it. There is these little rocks in the koi pond. Those are actually shaped like the island chain of Hawaii. So you can see all 8 of the Hawaiian islands represented there. So that's a little thing.
The 8 major islands. There are many, many, many teeny tiny
of minor islands.
But yes,
that are like bird sanctuaries where people don't go. You'll also see a lot of things like this. This is an artistic interpretation of a kukui nut torch, which is something that was used in the olden days so that they could have torches.
Kukui nut is a very oil-rich nut that grows on trees in Hawaii, and it is flammable. Interesting note, if you pay close attention in the movie Moana, there's a scene where she lights a torch. It's when she's in the cave finding the big canoes. Look closely at the torch, and you'll see it's made up of these little round beads. Those are kukui nuts.
Yes. So this is not an authentic torch, but it's an artistic
representation.
And here's an example of some menehune. Danny, do you want to talk about the menehune?
I would love to. So you heard me mention menehune earlier when we showed off the Christmas ornament that we got. The menehune are part of Hawaiian mythology. They're sort of, if you think, there are many cultures from stories around the world. Fairies, leprechauns,
shoemakers, elves,
dwarves, stories of small, mythical, magical creatures. They're usually very handy. They usually build things. They're often a little mischievous. The menehune are the Hawaiian version of this idea. So the menehune are responsible for building, for constructing things. It's said that they have to finish their construction only in one night. And if you discover a menehune while it's in progress, it never comes back to finish that particular thing that it was working on.
So they've hidden over 300 menehunes around the resort. Some of them are like this light installation. Some of them are little statuettes. There's little teeny tiny ones hidden in keyholes.
Yes, they're all shapes and sizes. They're big, they're small. You can find them underwater. You can find them up in the rafters. They're literally everywhere.
It's a great way to keep your kids occupied playing I Spy.
We asked how many because, I'm a completionist and I wanted to go and search for. They don't even tell you the exact number. All we were told is north of 300.
Yeah. Something a little more familiar, but also magical. I don't know if you can see this, but this is some magic pavement. If you remember that fiber optic pavement at Epcot that we all know and love, there are a few spots where you're going to see magical things like that happen around Aulani. Carrying down into the, I will call it, I guess it is floor 1, but going out towards the poolside gardens, you're going to hit the Olelo room, which is a bar. Kids can, it's a bar and restaurant, kids can go eat there. We saw plenty of families dining, but in the actual interior portion of the bar, they have this beautiful backdrop above all of the liquor bottles that is carvings of things with the Hawaiian words, so you can learn some Hawaiian while you're there.
Yes. Hawaiian is a tricky language. The emphasis, there are pauses and, sort of double letters. It's a beautiful language. It is tricky. If you pay attention in the Olelu room, all of these carvings, all of this display, it's actually designed to help teach you Hawaiian vocabulary.
Yeah, it's very cool. Go through the poolside gardens, and where do you get to? The beach. This, if you can see, there's some leaves right there. This is right before you technically leave the poolside gardens and cross a tiny walkway to where the sand begins. Yes. And that is the beach, the lagoon.
Yes. Like we were mentioning before, all of these chairs and umbrellas and stuff you see, those are exclusively for guests of Aulani Resort.
Now, something cool we learned about this lagoon, there's 4 lagoons in Ko Olina. They're all man-made, and they're made in such a way that the water is always fresh and clear and recycled from the ocean. So the water can come in on the far sides, and then it goes out. It's pushed out continually on both sides. The way they've designed the break with the rocks, the way they've dug out part of the bottom, it just controls the flow of water. It's a nice, soft, sandy beach. You don't get big, huge waves. It's nice if you want to do some paddle boarding or boogie boarding. It's nice if you just want to float around. It's nice for kids. Really like it. And you can go watch beautiful sunsets down at the beach or do some stargazing. They have an actual stargazing class led by an astronomer, which we did and was amazing. But you could just go look up at the night sky.
If you get a clear night, yes, it's wonderful. Beautiful clear skies.
And this is a shot from across the lagoon.
Yeah. So like Steph mentioned before, there's a walking path. It's paved. It's a very gentle, not a lot of hills or anything. It's very easy.
Maybe 5 minutes to walk this far away.
And it's great. You get a lovely view looking back across the the beach.
Yeah. Something that we actually didn't mention about arriving at Aulani is there's not a huge sign out front that says, Aulani, you're here, turn right.
Yeah, like picture when you're driving around Walt Disney World, when you're headed to those resorts, there's always like a huge, beautiful themed, this way, Grand Floridian. There's not. Again, this is by design, to make the building feel like it's part of the landscape. It's almost disguised. It's this winding switchback road, and like there's not even a sign out front that says Aulani.
Yeah.
There's a tree, a beautiful decorative tree with lanterns in it. That's probably the biggest
at nighttime
visual
more
landmark.
Obvious. Yeah. Now, if you have GPS, you're going to find it no problem. If you're traveling with me, I'm going to be crying and shouting, it's Aulani, turn here. So whoever that person is in your life, have them in charge of the directions. So now that we have kind of given you the lay of the land, let's talk about the stuff to do, the stuff to eat, etc. around the resort. I do want to say really quickly, so we did merch earlier. Did we mention that there are 3 different stores?
I did.
Okay.
There's one store that's sort of like a general Disney merch, a lot of, character stuff, clothing,
spirit jerseys, sunscreen,
some homeware stuff. It's very similar to what you would expect at any of the resort gift shops. There's another store that is tailored
to more luxury items, Tommy Bahama,
there's more
Junie
jewelry,
Pandora,
fancier brands, handbags, sunglasses, that sort of thing. And then there's a third one that is poolside and
swimsuits, rash guards, sunscreen, goggles,
all that stuff.
Cool. So this is really the portion of, so we've zoomed in a little, as you can see, this is the portion of Aulani that you're really going to care about. Poolside gardens. We're going to even zoom in a little bit more on that in a minute, but these are where all of the activities are going to happen. So over here, down here is the Auntie's Beach House area. That's the kids club where the kids activities happen. Down on the first floor back here is the Pauhana room. That is a community center. If you go to other DVC resorts, you're familiar with this. There's activities, there's crafts, there's games and stuff that you can do. Down here is the Olelo room, and right beside it is Makahiki. And then this is kind of like a patio lanai off the lobby where you can, it's raised on the next floor and you can look over. There are 2 identical DVC units that you can go view. So there's one on this side and one on this side. You just got to look for the DVC sign. It's really obvious. These are all the pools. Like I said, we're going to get to those. One of the coffee bars is over here. The quick service is over here. And down here is Ama Ama, which is the really fancy restaurant. There's also the beach rental area where if you want to get snorkel gear or boogie boards or rent one of the beach cabanas, that's where you go. There's the Dole Whip stand down here, which is called Little Opihi's. And then there is a snack stop and a shave ice stop in there. So very exciting times. Now, activities. You guys asked about activities, so we're going to talk about the ones that we did and a little bit about the ones that we didn't do. One thing I mentioned before, we did yoga on the beach on our very last morning. It's not technically on the beach. It's not on the sand. It's on the grass, and that is much better because you don't want sand everywhere.
By me, it's very comfortable. It's a very gentle class. It's not a complete beginner class, but it's very approachable and accessible if you have any sort of yoga experience.
Yeah. And you know what though, when she did ask at the beginning,
she does check in the instructor.
Everyone had a yoga experience, so she might have thrown in a little bit more intermediate stuff because everybody there was very familiar. They supply the mats. It's very easy.
It's a gentle class. It's not like a power flow. It's not a hot yoga thing. Like it's
very nice.
Peaceful.
You do have to book it in advance and you do have to pay for it. It's $25 a person at the time that we went. Could be different by the time you go. This is a free activity, but you do have to register in advance because capacity is limited. This is amazing. That's Michael. He was our ukulele instructor, and we had a half-hour ukulele lesson. They provide the ukuleles. It's geared towards kids and families or total beginners like me. Everyone had a good time. He had everyone in stitches. He was so funny.
Yes, and everyone was playing by the end of the class. We were all strumming along, playing songs, singing along. It was great fun.
It was awesome. This is added cost, and it's an excursion that's actually by a third party, but you can only book it once you arrive at Aulani, not in advance, and you can only book it at the Makiki Joe's beach rental place. So as soon as you arrive on your first day, if this is something that you want to do, head there to find out what the availability and pricing is like. This is a sailing canoe, otherwise known as an outrigger canoe.
Kava, I believe, is the Hawaiian word.
Kava is the word for any type of canoe in Hawaiian. So in the center here is where people who are captaining, piloting, sailing the canoe go. Yes. And then if you're just like luxe guests like us, you get to sit on these very comfy little hammocks above the water and go on a gorgeous, about an hour long sailing out of the lagoon, down one side, back the other side. We saw turtles.
Gorgeous view.
Fish.
The water is that incredible turquoise color. You're floating just like a foot or so above, because you're in the mesh canopy, and you're so close to the water. We had a beautiful blue sunny day, perfect turquoise water. We saw some turtles, some sea turtles.
Allie on our team told us to do this. She's like, "You're gonna do anything at Aulani, go on the Moana boat." I was like, "Yes, ma'am," and I did, and I'm glad. Thank you, Allie.
Yes. To be clear, they don't call it the Moana boat. It is the outrigger canoe.
It's the sailing canoe. Is what they call it. Okay. Yeah. So you can definitely get information about that. It was around $100 a person or something.
We put our resort credit towards it that Casey secured for us.
Yeah. We don't have any pictures of our stargazing class. That was about $40 or $45 a person. It was really cool. It's led by an astronomer. He brings all these really cool high-powered telescopes, and then he also takes some star photography that he will airdrop to you.
So we had two different telescopes. One was a telescope with an eyepiece that we all took turns looking through, and one was a camera telescope that has a specially fitted camera that takes photos. What was really cool is so he downloads the pictures and sends everyone digital copies, which was neat.
But why I'm showing you this photo is, I don't know if you can see this, but this is a constellation. There are constellations in the bottom of the pool. You don't really notice them in the day, but at night they put the lights on them. And so that's the closest thing I can get to the stars to show you. There is also right now a special free hula show. It's about a 20-minute long show happening. For us, it only happened once during our stay, but Aulani celebrated their 10-year anniversary last year, and a special song was created. So they've developed a special hula dance to go along with it. So on one night of our stay, we were able to go watch this poolside.
One thing we learned about hula dancing in Hawaii, it's a beautiful art form.
It's gorgeous.
And the specific dance moves, it's almost like a sign language. All dance is expressive and tells a story, but hula, there are moves that, very literally.
This is going to the ocean. This is pulling a net.
It's wonderful. This is great fun. This just happened on the pool. You just pulled up a chair. It was a beautiful performance.
Yeah, it was awesome. Another great performance that we were planning to go to, but I wasn't really expecting much, and it blew me out of the water, and I wanted to go every night, was storytelling, fire pit storytelling. They light up this fire pit. Uncle, this is Uncle, my guy. He comes out and he plays the ukulele. He tells you a very cool story. There's different stories every night, and there are actually recorded stories of him telling stories on your TV. So you can do the bedtime stories. Remember, in the Disney hotels, you have Rapunzel's bedtime story, Elsa's bedtime story, Lightning McQueen. They have some of those. They also have stories from Uncle. You fell asleep. I watched them all.
Oh, did I? In case anyone's curious, so we keep calling him Uncle. Uncle Aito is his name. If you've ever dined at Ohana at Disney, or if you've spent time in Hawaii, you'll know that they use terms uncle, auntie, cousin. There's this spirit of family, Ohana, right? Of family. And anyone could be your uncle or your aunt. It's a sign of endearment. It's a sign of connection.
Yeah. So this was great, also free. Another free one that only happened once during our stay was a very cute 20-25 minute long Moana show. It was like a little skit with Moana and then like the Pauhana Room cast members. So it wasn't everybody dressed up in like different costumes. They put on like a crown or whatever, but it was really, really funny, really cute. Moana's a shining star, just love her.
Yes.
So she was there.
This was again another highlight, really entertaining, perfect for the whole family. It's a retelling of the film, but in a fun, energetic,
and it was like around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so it was nice. You're like at the pool, like go get an ice cream or something, then go see this, then jump back in the pool. Like people were there in some in clothes, some in swimsuits, like just come as you are on a lawn. Very nice.
It is not a meet and greet opportunity.
No.
Moana is there. She comes out, she waves to everybody, she participates, but then she's off to her next adventure. No time for photos.
There are plenty of character greetings though that you can do with Moana and other characters. They're all listed in the app. You need to get the Aulani app if you're going there so that you know when the times are. They're not released until morning of, so you don't know who's going to be out. We also said we were going to talk about what to eat. We ate a lot of things. We're going to be having blogs and articles in the magazine and everything coming out about this. But to give you an idea, there are many cocktails and very good mocktails also at Aulani. I believe this one is a
lava flow.
That one was a lily koilada, and this one was a Mai Tai. There's poke nachos, which if you are obsessed with those like ahi tuna nachos at Yak and Yeti that are like so
this
popular.
Is way better than that.
Like those are very popular and good, but this is even better. But if you like that, you'll love this. There's of course Dole Whip. This is they have pineapple and watermelon. This is a swirl. You can get it with Moana. You can get it with Stitch. You can get it. There's pineapple on the bottom of this, but you can't see it's under all the Dole Whip. So you can go get yourself a Dole Whip. Very exciting. And also shave ice.
Very important here. It is shave, no D, shave ice.
It is not a snow cone.
It is not a snow cone. It is more magical and better and delicious. Shave ice is ubiquitous in Hawaii. It is everywhere. It is a local favorite.
You can choose what flavors you want put on it, up to 3 flavors. You can choose if you want to have ice cream on the bottom of the ice or if you want sweetened condensed milk drizzled on top. It's really good. They actually put 4 flavors on this one for me. I just walked up and I was like, rainbow, please.
We asked for a rainbow because we wanted it to look beautiful for photos, and that's a common request, and they happily make them.
Yeah.
Typically, when you order, they ask you to pick 3 flavor choices.
Yeah. There's also a lot of sushi, especially at the Olelo room, which is a sushi bar. They have other things too, but
the sushi is excellent.
Mickey wasabi.
The Mickey wasabi is adorable. The sushi is very good. They are very big rolls.
Yeah. Order one, because then if you want more, order another. Unlike our very good friend Zach, who ordered like 2 or 3 and was like, why do I have so many meals worth of sushi here? They also have at Makahiki breakfast, which I mentioned is 3 courses. So you get a bread basket to share at the table, but they'll bring you more. And it's not bread. It's little tiny croissants and guava danishes and coconut danishes and muffins and things. They brought us 2. We don't really need 2, but I wasn't going to say no to more guava danishes. And then they bring you a little fruit plate per person, and then you can pick an entree. So Danny picked Loco Moco, which is a very popular Hawaiian breakfast dish.
Yes.
It's rice, a hamburger patty, gravy, and eggs. Sounds weird, is so delicious. Highly recommend.
It's so delicious. It maybe doesn't have the most like curb appeal, but it's so tasty.
And if you feel guilty about it, eat a salad at lunch. But you know what? Don't feel guilty. You're on vacation.
Yes.
You also get a chance to meet Mickey here. They do like, as soon as you arrive, you go line up and meet Mickey and you meet Chef Goofy. And then Max and Pluto came around to the tables. I'm not sure if Max and Pluto are always there, if they change out those roaming characters. But here is Mickey. This is one of the digital photos that we mentioned that we got.
This one's from a PhotoPass photographer. This is one I took of Mickey. He's in a special aloha wear outfit.
We met Max and Pluto. So cute. Oh, and Chef Goofy. Cool. We're going to talk about pools next, but let's just see what else people are asking so we don't miss any of the questions.
Seen some comments. It's reminiscent of Animal Kingdom Lodge. Absolutely. What else do we have? Somebody asked if we had gone to what they call Secret Beach. So like we've mentioned a few times, Aulani is on, there's a series of lagoons in Ko Olina where the resort is located. You can walk one of the nearby beaches accessible by foot is called Secret Beach. It's not really a secret.
Everybody knows about it. We saw 50 people going there. We did go there.
We did go there. It's lovely. We were hoping to see sea turtles, which sometimes are seen there, but they've got the whole ocean to explore.
If you see any turtles or monk seals, you have to keep your distance.
Yes.
Like there are rules. They're posted everywhere. I think it's like 15 feet plus.
They're beautiful creatures. We were very fortunate to see sea turtles in other parts of Hawaii, and it was a highlight of the trip. We didn't see them that day at Secret Beach, but sometimes.
Yeah. Steven's asking what fireside story was best. My favorite, I bet you it's Danny's favorite too. But there is one about a princess and a commoner who fall in love, but they can't be together, and they're the gods basically bestow on them or they turn them into, when they die, they turn them into a flower, one that only grows on the mountain, one that only grows at the ocean, because they had to go back to their respective homes, and nothing in between because they couldn't get together. But this flower is only found there, and one has 4 petals on one side and one has 5 petals on the other side. So if you put the 2 flowers together, it's like an entire flower. That's my favorite one.
These flowers are real.
They have them at Aulani.
They have them at Aulani, and you can see they are, when they're fully in bloom, there's only petals on half the flower. It's very unique.
Stephen also asked what character meet was best. Well, we didn't have enough time to do a ton of the lineup character meets, but my favorite encounters, actually, sometimes Goofy will be at the entrance to the lazy river splashing around with you. I was floating along the lazy river one day, and Mickey came up to the side and waved at me. It was awesome. I just love those kind of very random, not expected encounters.
Yeah.
And that's a great segue into talking about the pools. So now we're zoomed in a little bit more. This is the, oh my goodness, can I even read it? The Wailana pool. There we go. This used to be an adults only pool. The spa is kind of back behind there. Now it is for families as well. This is the Kamaka Grotto pool. There's a hot tub in there also. And that one has the infinity edge that Danny was talking about. This is a double-decker adults only infinity hot tub. This is the Waikolohe pool. There's 2 water slides in this mountain. One is the volcanic vertical, and it's a dark body slide. It will shoot you right down into this pool so you can keep swimming. And the other is called the Tubestone Curl. It is a raft slide, and it will shoot you right into the lazy river, which you can see right here, which is called the Waikolohe Stream. The pool and the stream do not connect otherwise. This is Rainbow Reef. It is an added charge, but this is where you can go snorkeling with real fish. There is the Menehune Bridge, which is a splash area, and Keki Cove, which is a teeny tiny splash.
It's not even a pool. It's just a wet
sprinklers. Yeah, like a splash pad as opposed to climbing around being adventurous. So that is the pool situation. And we are working on a video about all those different pools. But here's an example. This is early in the morning, so it's not super sunny yet, but this is that Waikolohe pool. This is the Kamaka Grotto pool that Danny loves. There's that infinity edge right there. And then snorkeling, you can buy a pass for one day that you can go back as many times as you want that day, or a length of stay pass if that is what you prefer. And then you can go as many times as you want for your whole vacation. Now,
if you're interested in snorkeling, I would recommend the length of stay.
Yeah.
It's not much more. If you're going to snorkel twice, I think it's worth the cost to get the length of stay pass.
If you've never snorkeled before, your kids have never snorkeled before, this is a great place to learn because A, you're definitely going to see fish. B, the fish are going to expect to see you because they see people all day, so they're not going to be scared and run away. C, You got Disney there, you got lifeguards there. It's like very, very safe.
Yeah.
And the cast members there will help you learn how to breathe through your mask. If you've never snorkeled before, they're going to help you out a lot.
Yeah.
And you're not contending with the waves of the ocean. It's nice and flat. So I really recommend this.
For sure.
It's slightly chillier than the pools. But like not that chilly. Maybe in December or something, but not for us.
You get used to it. It's fine. There's an action shot of Steph snorkeling.
And there's some fish. Here's another shot of some fish and like how close you get to them. There's also a viewing window that you can look through so you can see your loved one snorkeling. You can kind of judge what the fish situation is like before you get in. There are also some hidden menahunes down there. Now, something else that you can pay for poolside, they have cabanas that you can rent for the day, which you can rent in advance through calling Aulani, I believe. And if there's any left that are available, you can purchase them day of. They are quite expensive, but pretty much in line with what I think they cost at Disney World and Disneyland. You can also rent Casabellas in advance for, I think it's close to $250. And those ones are more close to the pool. But you can get these nice ones close to the beach for about $80. You can only get them day of. I think it's at 7 a.m. It's 7:30 a.m. They start taking reservations.
Mahiki Joe's opens.
So you line up. We were like the third people in line or something. We picked this one. I think there's about 20 of these beach Casabellas. This was a nice day. So this is from the back so that you could see our view. This is what you get. You get a guaranteed seat for the day. We didn't have
shade all the time.
Shade all day. There's pool servers, beach servers coming around to see if you want. You have to pay for them, but like, do you want drinks? Do you want chicken nuggets? Like, what do you want? Both of those, please.
Yeah, we parked our butts in these chairs for the whole day. It was so beautiful.
It was very relaxing. We grabbed some boogie boards and went out to the ocean for a little bit.
Yeah, it was great. We had drinks, we had lunch brought to us. It was just wonderful.
Read some books. Like, it was really, really nice. So I would not hesitate to do this again. For us, this was like well worth that $80. And even if you have a family of 4 or something, but like a couple of you are going to be at the pools or in the water or whatever, this was really nice.
The family that booked the one next to us, it was a full family. There were 4 or 5 of them, but everybody takes turns. Some people are out swimming in the ocean. Some people are lounging it's nice to have like a home base.
It is not required. There are plenty of beach chairs that you can get for totally free. There's plenty of pool chairs. People will tell you the pool chairs are a problem and people run down at 6 a.m. to get the pool chairs. They do, but not all the pool chairs are gone. Not one day did we have a problem. Sometimes it took a couple minutes, but we always found 2 chairs together. If you have a family of 6 and you want 6 chairs together, might be a problem, but do you need 6 chairs? Do you only need 2 to leave your stuff at?
Exactly.
So that's only up to you. That's something for you to consider. Something that I do want to note about other activities that we didn't have a chance to do. We didn't go to Auntie's Beach House because that's a kids club. We're not allowed there. We're not kids. We don't have kids. No go for us. We didn't go to the spa. It was actually, part of it was under renovation when we were there. So we didn't want to report on it when it wasn't at its glory. We didn't go to the gym because of vacation. We didn't go to the luau this time, but I hope we will next time. We didn't go to Ama Ama. They're currently only offering dinner. We had a lot of different plans at nighttime. So hopefully they'll be back to breakfast, lunch, and dinner soon. Or maybe we'll just do it for dinner next time. Some of the activities we didn't get a chance to do. There's a bunch of like ocean fitness and beach body boot camp. Again, read vacation. But there were, like I mentioned, we didn't get to do the hula activity. So they're offered all different times. So there's a few other things we didn't get to do. And we didn't get a chance to do the Menehune adventure game. But other than that, a note on hours. There are limited hours for all of these things. So they're not all open 24 hours a day, especially with activities they're offered at very specific times. You really need to get that Aulani app before your vacation. Start looking at that week, maybe a month before your vacation. What kinds of things are offered? What days? So you kind of start planning out. You can still have a nice spontaneous time at Aulani, but you would really hate to miss the one time they do the Moana show and your kid has to see Moana or miss a character greeting or something. So while it is much more relaxed than a normal Disney vacation, those Disney skills that you have for going to the park are going to serve you very well in figuring figuring out like the 2 or 3 things every day you want to make sure that you do. Kind of like a Disney cruise, right? You don't want to miss your animation class. They do actually have animation classes at Aulani. We didn't get a chance to do them. But like you don't want to miss towel folding, let's say. They did not have that at Aulani. That's a Disney cruise thing. So yeah, then this is a zoomed out version, and I just want to show you. Over here is a wedding chapel. You can do weddings right at Aulani if you book through Disney, but there's a different wedding chapel over here that is on the map. And then over here is this, if you walk out of the front doors of Aulani and down half a block and across the street, 5 minutes, you are at a little complex that has the Starbucks. It's got a Monkey Pod restaurant, which is very nice. There's a Mexican restaurant. There's an ABC store, which is where you can get all your sundries and things like that. So there are a bunch of cute little things there that you can go with.
It's an easy walk. There's a sidewalk. There's a stoplight with a crossing intersection. I know some people do drive there, but honestly, like from your resort room to that shopping complex, like under 10 minutes.
Yeah. So that's really all that we wanted to tell you about Aulani. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday night. Now, I know a bunch of you are going to watch this on replay, maybe on Facebook, maybe on YouTube. Please feel free to put questions down in the comments. We and our team continue to monitor these videos basically forever. So if you ever put down a question, we will do our best to see that and come answer it in the future. This is the nighttime view from our room. Yes.
I hope that this has made you excited about Aulani. If you've never been, if you've been dreaming about it, it is a wonderful place.
We're going to wrap this up in about 2 minutes. So if you do have another question for us tonight, make sure you get it in now.
Yes, we will be sharing lots more about Aulani. You'll be seeing it coming up in WDW Magazine. You'll be seeing it on our YouTube channel, on the blog and everything. We really appreciate having you guys tune in with us. We love chatting with all of our subscribers and followers. We love sharing our magic of our Disney trips with you.
Don't forget, if you do want to book Aulani, go over to the form on our website, ask Destinations to Travel for help. They're going to help sort out everything for you. They can even help you with flights and things like that if you need, or if you want to do other stuff on the island of Hawaii or the island of Hawaii, the island of Maui, the island of Kauai, the island of Oahu, anything that you want to do, they can help you out with that, or any Disney destination that you want to go to. Now, a little teaser about some other stuff that's happening this month.
This is the cover of our upcoming July issue of WDW Magazine. Adventure Awaits. This is a great issue. There's some really fantastic stuff here. We take a deep dive into Adventureland. We go on some adventures by Disney expeditions, a National Geographic expedition. There's so much stuff here. The dining review is Skipper Canteen. Great restaurant. If you are not already a subscriber, if you subscribe now, you're going to start your subscription with this issue, with the July issue.
We had our pre-publication meeting the other day, which is something that we do about a week before we go to print with an issue, so we can make sure that there's as few errors as possible. We can fix up anything we need to. And everyone was like, this is the best issue ever. They don't say that every single month. So I think you're really going to love this Adventureland issue.
It's a great issue. We're really proud of it. If you're interested in subscribing, please head over to shop.wdwpublishing.com. You'll start with the July issue. For those of you who are current subscribers, your June issue is in the mail. Hopefully it has arrived. If it hasn't arrived, it will be there any day now. This is our water issue, it's wonderful.
We have an interview with Halle Bailey, Ariel in the new Little Mermaid movie. We also have, oh my goodness, all sorts of things. The Little Mermaid show on the Disney Wish.
Scuba diving at Epcot. I don't even know if you guys knew this, but if you're scuba certified, you can go scuba diving at Epcot at the Seas Pavilion.
Mermaid Lagoon at Tokyo Disney Sea. Top
Blizzard
5
Beach.
Disney resort pools. Finding Nemo, the Big Blue and Beyond, the new Finding Nemo show, Coral Reef. Did you say Coral Reef? So many good things in here. And if you are not a subscriber, or if you are a digital subscriber or you're not a subscriber already and you want to start reading that tonight, go get a digital subscription because you can get instant access to that. Similarly, our DLR
Disneyland magazine.
Summer magazine is out now. It should have arrived in your mailboxes already, or if you're a digital subscriber, you have instant access to this one. This one's awesome. We talk about World of Color 1.
Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Mm-hmm. The new Toontown.
New Toontown.
From Captain Nemo to Finding Nemo. We have opening day at Disneyland, Walking with Walt, a Dole Whip at Home recipe. So much good stuff. If you don't know about our Disneyland magazine, let's see if I can flip through that. I'm just going to do a terrible job. We have a preview on our website. You should go check it out. There you go. Thank you, Tanny. And if you haven't subscribed already, you can buy this one single in the shop. But if you are to subscribe today to DLR magazine, you are going to start with our fall issue, which has, Haunted Mansion on the cover. Big Haunted Mansion article in there. What other kind of articles, Danny? We're going to the Grand Californian Hotel, Haunted Mansion, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, Buena Vista Street, California Adventure, the corn dog wagon on Main Street, some of the finest corn dogs you'll ever have. It's a great issue. And Wondrous Journey. Oh, yes, the new fireworks, the new nighttime spectacular at Disneyland. We are, as you guys know by now, huge Disney fans. This is something that we're so passionate about. We love talking about the parks. We love sharing it with you guys, giving you that connection to the place you love. These magazines that we put out every month for WDW, quarterly for Disneyland magazine. This is a real labor of love. Steph and I and our team, everybody works, so hard. Everyone is so dedicated, and we're really proud every month of the magazines we put out, and we hope you're all enjoying them. Well, guys, that's all we have for tonight. Like I said, if you have any questions, please put them down in the comments below, and we'll do our best to answer those later on, typing in the comments. But thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you have a magical night. Mahalo for joining us, and as they would say in Hawaii, aloha.